Hello to my archery friends. So today what we're going to be doing is installing new Twisted X strings on my bow and doing just the initial setup. So this is going to be the second part in probably a 3-part series that I'll be putting together. And this is just how to throw on the strings, how to select your nocking point, slapping on soft nocks, D loop, getting the bow set up. So just kind of initial setup, not in-depth tuning. That's going to be the third video, and really in-depth tuning, it's minor, but show you my process, show you what I do to set up a bow. So appreciate you guys watching. All right, so first thing we're gonna do, I've got the bow just in the vise. I've got it leveled up, so I'll show you that. I've got the bow sitting level both ways, so the string is perfectly vertical there. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna select the location for our top soft knock, and this is kind of some of what I explained in the previous video. So the goal here and what we want to do is I want to get my bow square sitting at the bottom edge of the burger holes, and that's a fixed location. I can always come back and check. So just working to try to get that exactly where I want it. So that right there looks pretty perfect. I don't know how well that shows up on camera. I can't really get too close with this tripod I'm using, but that bow square is just covering up the very bottom of the burger hole. So what we're gonna do here, try to get a good close-up so you can see. Whoops, 1 second. There we go. So like I said in the previous video, with a larger diameter, if you're going to run like a 23 or 25 or 27, maybe a 22, 26, a larger diameter, the fatter shafts, the way I've been taught, a best starting position is going to be putting your top knock at 1/4 inch or 3/8 of an inch. So what I'm going to do is do 1/4 inch. So what I need to do is I just need to get a good mark at 1/4 inch. And that's going to be where I put my top soft knock. So that's my starting spot. So I'm going to get the bow in the bow press, and I will show you guys the next part. Alright, so I've got the bow in the bow press now. And I don't know if you can see from that side, but I've marked with a Sharpie where I want my top knock, soft knock to start. So the way that I've been taught to do this, I've got probably a 18-inch piece of soft knock material, and what I want to do is just like you're tying your shoes. So you do that first, and then you do it a second time, and then what you're going to do is just get that tight and get that started right on my mark there, and really crank down on it. And then you're going to do the very same thing on the bottom, going through twice. So there's once, second time. Then I want to get that lined up straight again and pull it very tight. So I do that one time, and then I'm going to do a second one on top. So go through once, twice. I'm going to butt that up right up against my first one there and pull it very tight. And then do the same thing on the bottom, going through 2 times again. So there's 1 time and twice. And the way that I like to do it, I like to do, when I count my knots, I'm only counting on one side. So I want to do 2 knots on the top, just like, so that's it for the top. Then when I do my bottom soft knock, I do it 4 times. And that really will give you a point where the arrow is going to pull directly behind your release. That kind of offsetting will help with the D-loop, and you'll see that later. So to finish this, what you want to do is you want to you're going to do just like you tie your shoe 1 time, and you're going to put it right in between those 2. And you're going to want to cinch, whoops, get that between it. It keeps slipping off, hold on. It's always easier to do when no one's watching. There we go. And just cinch that as tight as you can get it, and then do the same thing 1 more time, and that'll tie that off. And just give that a good tight pull, and then all we'll do is cut this off and burn it. Remember, your flame always goes up, so keep your bowstring below your flame, and just burn that down, and that's your top. Actually, the first thing I want to do is get a good reference point for where I think my peep sight needs to go, and my measurement is always 6 inches. So it needs to go about right there. So just underneath that. So we'll go ahead and press this. Got my peep here, run the Hamskea, the Insight peep. Absolutely love it. And I mean, the groove's good. That all looks good. Sweet. So now I got my peep sight in. And one thing I'm gonna do now is double check my peep height. So I need to be 6 inches to the middle. So it needs to come down. Too far. And I might even get lucky on this way that the string's turning. So that's pretty close right there. Measure that one more time. I think that's gonna work. 6. It should be. Looks good there. So now I got my peep. Got my peep in there. So now I will go ahead and finish my bottom soft knock here. So what I'm going to need is an arrow. See if I can find one. got an arrow, go ahead and clip it on. Just let that hang. So I need to get some more DCY 3D material. Alright, so now we're going to do the bottom soft knock here, and it's the very same process. So you're going to do just like you're tying your shoes, one time and then a second time through, and then you're going to pull that tight. And on the bottom here, the bottom is where you get your slack so that you won't get knock pinch when you're at full draw, because as you draw the bow, you know, the string goes from straight to like this, and it kind of makes an angle. So we want to leave about 1 millimeter or 2 on the bottom so that that knock has just a little bit of give. Alright, now I'm going to show you guys how to add a D-loop. Hopefully I can get this where y'all can see halfway decent. So first thing you want to do, get you a piece of D-loop material. You're going to make a, think of it as like a J. Flip it upside down, put the bottom of the J behind the string, and then you'll put the tag through, and then you'll put the long tag through. For some reason, I'm doing this the hardest way. Alright, so now we need to adjust that. Alright, so from here, I'm going to get some D-loop pliers, and we're going to roll a little bit of slack out of here. Get this part started there. That's a good starting place. You want to make sure you keep your D-loop in line with your peep sight, which I know it's going to be hard to see. So the second part, you take your long tag here, you go behind the string, then you're going to go through the hole, then you're going to go around, under, and back through. And what that does is, if you can see, so doing your loops this way, you've got your knots facing different directions, which is going to help with the torque that you might put in your D-loop using a handheld release or a trigger or anything like that. It's set in the optimal position for torque. So I'll go ahead and finish this D-loop up and show you how I do it. I probably needed to get my Hamskea rest set up, so tied a knot down here in the PBTS system, and got my cord run through and just tied it off. I'm about to get this tightened up and get the rubber band on it, and Hamskea will be good to go. It's that easy. So to go ahead and speed up the top cam, what I'm going to do, the two yokes on the top, I'll follow that down to the bottom cam here, and I will add, I think I'm going to add a full twist and see what that does. I think it's going to need a little bit more than a half twist, so just a half and a full. Put that back. Probably gonna put a half more in the top. It's just barely, I mean, it's probably a 30-second behind the bottom, but I'd rather have the top hit just a touch ahead of the bottom personally. So I'm gonna do one more half twist and we'll call that good probably. I got them dead even, so that's perfect. It's just what we wanted. Alright, so now we're gonna just double check our axle to axle, see how it's sitting. And axle to axle is dead nuts, 40 inches perfectly. Let's check our brace height. Brace height's sitting beautifully at 7.5. Tiller, we got 6 3/4 at the bottom. 6 and 5. It's even, the tiller's even a little bit closer. It's a 1/16 off. So a 1/16 off of a quarter, which it was an 1/8 off. So it's better than it was. So that's good. Double check my peep height. And it's perfectly sitting at 6 inches, so that should be good.